Diet. I'm gonna show you how I make my marinara sauce tonight, okay? My kitchen is an absolute shit show, but it's okay. You're gonna need 3 cans of the Marzano style tomatoes. Gotta be San Marzano style, okay? And then a can of tomato puree, 2 large Spanish or yellow onions, big clove of garlic, 1 kind of smallish habanero pepper, and some basil leaves. Alright, once you're done chopping up, chop them up nice and fine, man. You don't want big chunks, alright? Once you get slicing up both of those onions, put them off to the side, and then get the garlic out. I usually use like, I don't know, like 9 or 10-ish cloves, you know, just smash those fuckers up, and then cut them up real small. I'll be right back. So once you get the onions done, you get the garlic done, next thing we're going to get the sauce ready. So you're going to just take these jars of tomatoes, and you're just going to pour them off, okay? You're going to have some chunks in there, some basil leaves, and you're going to have some sauce, right? So be careful with this shit because this shit splashes up and it stains everything, man. So don't be wearing your favorite white shirt when you're doing this, alright? Well, basically you're just going to get your hands in there, you're going to get them dirty, and you're just going to squish these things together and get like a, you know, get the chunks out. Some people like it a little chunky. If you really don't like the chunks, or if your kids don't like the chunks, you can put it in the Ninja blender, right? Process it. Alright, be back. Here's a really important part. You fuck this part up, you might as well be eating Chef Boyardee, okay? You gotta cook the onions, dude. You gotta cook them, don't burn them. You gotta cook them forever and ever and ever and ever until they're soft. So just start with a hot pan, add some olive oil, not vegetable oil, olive oil. How much olive oil? I don't know. About that much. Alright? Maybe a little more. Okay. Cook it on medium heat. It's better to cook it on a little bit of a like lower medium heat so you don't burn the onions. Just get the oil hot. Alright, once it starts to get hot, you can just add the onions. And just stir them around. You know, let them do their thing. And you should be able to kind of, like, see, I don't have enough oil in here, right? Like, you should be able to kind of see the oil floating a little bit in there. I add a little bit more oil. And when you're cooking the onions, you're going to notice 2 things. You're going to get like 2 cues from the onions, right? The first thing you're going to notice is that the onions stop having that that smell. You know what I mean? Like they want to make you cry. They start to get sweeter. And the next thing you're going to notice is that the onions are going to start getting like translucent or see-through. They're not done cooking when you get to that point. But at that point, you want to add a bunch of salt to it, and that's going to help them break down and get soft. Let me turn this. Alright, so I've been cooking these legit. Ooh, it get foggy. I've been cooking these legit for about 10 minutes now. And, you know, it starts to flatten down on itself, right? It starts to get almost like a paste. It's like clear, see-through. And then, like, if you go to smell the onions, they're starting to smell a little sweeter, right? So at this point, you just want to add some salt. And like, yeah, that was a lot of salt. It's okay. The salt's going to help it further break down and stuff. I'll probably bring the heat down just a little bit and like cook it for like maybe 10 minutes or so. And basically the way I check to see if the onions are cooked is like, I'll take a big onion out of here and I'll like bite into it. If it's crunchy, I keep cooking. If it's soft, I go to step 2. Alright? Alright, so I got my camera girl here. But we basically have been cooking the onions for about 15 or 16 minutes now. they're definitely ready to go. So now we're going to add the garlic. Do not add the garlic before the onion is cooked. Just don't do it. No, it's wrong. Okay, so we're going to put the garlic in, okay? And we're not browning the garlic. We're not doing any of that goofy shit. All we're doing is we're waiting for the garlic to cook enough to where we can start smelling the fragrance, right? That's it. Okay? Mix it around. Takes about 30 seconds to a minute. Something like that. Maybe 2 minutes. I don't know. Use your nose. Okay? Just wait for it. Okay, this is more than 30 seconds. I know Potato Sack's commenting on this right now. You're right, Potato Sack. It wasn't 30 seconds. You're 100% correct. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take wine. Any kind of wine. Doesn't matter. We're not going to use the whole bottle. Like a half a bottle. And we want to burn the alcohol off. All we're doing is it's going to add a nice like floral fragrance to your sauce. And it's also going to add some nice flavors to it. And it's going to put a lot of sugar in there. Right? So, like a half a bottle. Okay? And then, look at me. And then one for the homies. Okay. And then we're just going to let that cook until we cook the alcohol off. And you know the alcohol is cooked off because you can smell the shit. It smells like rubbing alcohol. I don't know. Probably takes about like maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. Alright, go ahead and kill it. Okay, after that's been cooking for a couple minutes, all you're going to do is you're just going to add in the sauce now. Okay? You just pour the sauce in. Yeah, it's going to splash. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Alright. Two or three basil leaves, cut up. A lot of salt. Yeah. Stir it up a bit. That shit's hot. And then just gonna add the tomato puree. So it's a little bit more tomatoey. So Diet, the important thing here is if you were to like stick your finger in here and taste it, what you would taste is like sour and bitter from the tomatoes, right? Because it's like all acidy and stuff. It's acidic. So the important thing here is to not add your seasonings right now, okay? Because what happens is we're going to be cooking off the acidity on the marinara. So the longer you cook this stuff, the thicker it gets and the sweeter it gets. So you literally now are going to be cooking this thing for maybe 2 hours, right? And it's going to get to a point where you taste it and it's going to all of a sudden be sweet. Okay? That means the sauce is like ready. I mean, you could cook it longer, but that means the sauce is good. At that point, add your meat, add your seasonings, and all I do is add more pepper, more salt, and like a little bit of like thyme or something like that, right? It doesn't need a lot. But don't try to season it to get that bad sourness out of it. You have to cook that out. And that's pretty much it, man. I chop up a habanero and I cook that with a little bit of ground beef on the side. And once the sauce is sweet, I add the meat, I stir it up, and I let it cook for like another 30, 40 minutes. So the whole thing maybe takes like 3.5 or 4 hours, but that's a lot of sauce. You know what I mean? I'm gonna jar it up. We're gonna have everything we need for tonight and probably like another meal next week. That's it. Later.